Today we are going to learn how to combine integers. Remember, an integer is a whole number and its opposite. We have one definition in a new term here, and that is zero pair, which is where the sum is equal to 0, or the sum is 0. Okay, so then we have where we are going to learn how to combine integers. We are not adding or subtracting integers, okay? So our positive sign here is going to just mean the word and. So this is a positive 4 and positive 4. So our words are a positive. Well, we're going to combine. So actually, let's write the word combine first. Combine positive 4 and positive 4. So for this problem, you're going to need yellow and red colors. Markers, if it's thin, colored pencils. So press pause and get those out now. If you don't have yellow and red, then you can mark these words off and say if you have purple and red, so instead of yellow, you're using purple. Okay? And then if you're not using red, and let's say instead of red, you're using blue, that's okay, but I would really like you to use yellow and red if possible, because that's what colors we're going to be using tomorrow in class, okay? So our model, we have a combined positive 4 and positive 4. So that means our first number is 4 positives. Yellow is positives. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 positives. And 4 positives. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we combine these two, we have how many total positives? We have 8. So our result here is that combining a positive 4 and a positive 4 gives me 8 positives. Let's try that again. Number 2 says this is a negative 4 and positive 4. So we are going to combine negative 4 and positive 4. So with our yellow and red, with our positives, well, first we have a combined negative 4. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives that we have. And then we have a positive 4. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 positives. So this is the first time we're going to see our zero pair. Zero pair is a pair of numbers whose sum is 0. So when I combine a negative and a positive together, those equal 0, so it goes away. So it's as if I had one negative combined with one positive. When I meet those in the middle of a number line, negative 1, 0, 1, I have a negative 1 and a 1. When I combine those equal 0. So anytime you have a negative and positive together, that's a 0. Negative and positive together, that's a 0. And a negative and positive together, that's a 0. So when I combine a negative 4 and a positive 4, that gives me a total of 0. Let's do another one. So here I have a negative 4 and a negative 4. So I am going to combine a negative 4 with a negative 4. So I have negatives, so I'm going to use my red. So I have 4 negatives, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 negatives, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to look, do I have any zero pairs? Do I have any negatives and positives that I can put together to make 0? No, I just have negatives. So when I am combining, how many total negatives do you have together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when I'm combining a negative 4 with a negative 4, that's the same thing as saying negative 4 and negative 4 equals 8. So if we come back over here, when we saw negative 4 with the negative 4, we can change that math numbers to negative 4 and negative 4. So that means instead of the with here, we have an and. So we combined a negative 4 and a negative 4. Let's look at that again. This next one, so do you see how we have 2 negatives with each other? We're going to change those numbers to the and. So we have a negative 5 and a negative 2. Notice how our positive sign is taking the place of positive and is saying negative. So I want you to do where you have the words. I want you to write my model and pictures, and I want you to write the result in the number sentence and press play when you have finished. So your words should be combine negative 5 and negative 2. You should have 5 negatives and 2 negatives. Those are all negatives, so we have no zero pair. We're going to just total up how many negatives we have in existence. And that is that when I combine a negative 5 and a negative 2, I am going to get a total of negative 7, or 7 negatives. I would like you to press pause and do this one on your own. When you have finished, we will check this tomorrow and we will move on. This next one looks a little different. So here I have a 5, and remember whenever I have 2 negative signs next to each other, this first negative means opposite. So I have a 5 opposite, a positive 5 opposite negative 2. What's opposite negative 2? That's a positive 2. So instead, I have a positive 5, positive 2. These two make a positive. Okay? So here I have a positive 5 combined with a positive 2, because the opposite of a negative 2 is a positive 2. I would like you to do these next two on your own. We will check that tomorrow, and press play when you have finished. So our next one is negative 5. Look, we have 2 negatives together again. Remember, this one first negative means opposite. So the way this reads is negative 5 opposite negative 2. Again, what's the opposite of negative 2? That is a positive 2. So I have a negative 5, positive 2. So the way I'm going to read this is to combine a negative 5 and positive 2. I would like you again to do these next two things on your own, and we will check with your table groups. If you have any questions at the bottom of your notes in your notebook, go ahead and write a question for us, please, so that we can make sure that we answer them tomorrow in class. Just in your spiral on your notebook paper.